What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new F1 2020 My Team Career Mode episode. We're back for part number 6 now for the Spanish Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last episode, I recommend you go check that one out. A very, very interesting episode, shall we say. Obviously, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. We made it out of Q1 for the very first time, only to go right back to 22nd with a new engine. So that was kind of a little bit redundant in a way. But I will be brutally honest with you guys. At this race, I had heard from a couple of my close mates who have already done this race that the AI can be a little bit strange around Spain, and I'm not really too sure how to interpret that. Whether that means they could just be oddly slow, or whether they make some stupid errors or something. I'm not too sure, so we'll have to keep an eye on everybody and see just what happens. But one thing I will say is the practice programs were, to say easy would actually be an understatement. We were still running with 107 on the AI difficulty, but these practice programs were easy to pass. Yeah, they were absolutely easy. They were not hard. As you can see there, we were about to beat a race strategy lap by 1.5 seconds. So, yeah, the pace was actually looking very good. I was pushing the boundaries quite a bit, I must admit, as you saw right there. But at the end of practice 2, we end up P11, still 2 seconds off the pace. But as you can see, quite a few of the AI never actually come out for FP2. Now, I've heard from a lot of people and seen in a lot of videos that the AI do tend to have engine failures around here. So that's not going to be a concern for us, as we've already taken our new engine. But the AI are definitely on worn components, it must be said, or at least that's definitely what it looks like. But anyway, hopefully we can make the most of that. But yeah, as I was saying, in general, practice went well. We got through all of the programs with a purple score for, I think that's the first time that I've ever done it. But we'll head over to qualifying now for the Spanish Grand Prix. Now, one thing that I do want to say quickly before we get into the real sweaty part of this video, so to speak, is once again, I appreciate the support for these daily uploads, guys. But after today's video, and hopefully the Monaco Grand Prix tomorrow, I will be slowing things down a little bit, as with certain things that are just transpiring around the house at the moment, plus you know, just life in general. It's making things a little bit hard. So after Monaco, the daily uploads will slow down. Hopefully still maybe every second or third day at least. I'll try and keep that up if I can. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a heads up so you knew what was going on. But anyway, getting on to qualifying now. We already set our banker lap of a 1:16.402, which was pretty good in its own right. Currently P7. A lot of AI haven't actually set laps though. We're going to cross the line to improve to a 1:16.1, which doesn't actually improve our position. But let's go and have a look at the final results for the first part of qualifying. Have we made it out of Q1? Yes, we have. Have a look at that, guys. We are out of qualifying 1. 1:16.1. Half a second to George Russell, who somehow makes it in. But Latifi, Norris, Raikkonen, Grosjean, few big names there that you wouldn't expect to see eliminated, never even come out and set lap time. So the AI obviously really concerned with their power units here for this weekend. And yeah, a couple of them obviously deciding that it's worth starting at the rear. But anyway, on the Q2, Max Verstappen goes purple with a 14.3, I think that was. We're going to come across the line for a major improvement compared to our Q1 lap. Where is that going to put us? We go P10! P10, boys! We're in qualifying 3. Oh my goodness gracious. We have made it into the top 10 here at Spain. Oh my god, I have no idea how we've managed to do that. A lot of the AI seemingly opting for medium tyres as well though. So that's going to be a interesting strategy play to watch out for all of those guys. You would expect that they'd probably just do the one stop. But anyway, let's head over now for the very first time for our final lap of qualifying in Q3. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Down into turn 1. This lap, I will be brutally honest with you guys, I was actually prepared to throw it in the wall. I just drove the absolute wheels off this thing on this lap to try and get the absolute max out of the car that I possibly could. I'll be brutally honest, I didn't expect to qualify anywhere other than P10, considering that we only just made it in to the final part of qualifying. I was going to be brutally ecstatic with even an 8th or a 9th, to be fair. But anyway, just wringing the neck of this spiker on this qualifying lap at the moment. And as you can see, we're about 6 tenths down on Daniel Ricciardo, who is in P6. But this final sector has proven to be a strong point of this circuit. So hopefully we might be able to claw back a little bit of time against our fellow Aussie. I don't think we're going to be able to challenge him, but we may actually end up threatening the likes of Perez for P8, P9. We're going to come up and across the line now. Where are we going to end up? P7. P7, guys. Oh, oh wow. Best of the rest here at Spa. Oh, not quite best of the rest. You got Daniel Ricciardo there in P6, but we have out-qualified a Red Bull in the form of Max Verstappen. That is not what I expected. That is not a good lap from Max there. He will not be happy starting down in P8. Carlos Sainz didn't even come out and set a lap in the final part of qualifying. But there we go, guys. From basically every race so far, we've been 17th to 20th. And all of a sudden, at round 5, we find ourselves in 7th place on the grid. This is a real good shot to score some solid points. Let's not waste this opportunity, eh? Let's get into it.
Alright, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Now, I want to talk to you about Valtteri Bottas. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Albon, Valtteri Bottas and Ricciardo, Lee, Verstappen, Perez and Carlos Sainz, Magnussen, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Giovinazzi, Russell, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, Norris, Raikkonen, Grosjean and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Alright, so here we are, guys, on the grid of the Spanish Grand Prix, lining up in P7 of all places. I still can't believe this. How the hell we have ended up here, I've got no idea. Mick Schumacher down in P17, so we have definitely outperformed the general performance of this car here today. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We didn't change the difficulty, it's still on 107, and we have made it into the top 10. Yeah, I still can't believe that. That's insane. But anyway, we've got a real good chance to score a solid amount of points here. Let's not forget that there's a lot of guys just behind us who'll be starting on medium, so they'll be running long into this race, and they could hold some of the AI up, as there's a few ahead of us that are starting on the soft tyre. So this race could turn out to be quite interesting, and maybe we could sneak up and score better than P7. But let's not get too far out of ourselves. But things are looking very good so far.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, we are ready and waiting to get this Grand Prix underway from 7th on the grid. Let's make it a good one. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. Once again, the lights were held for ages. Look at the start we've got compared to the AI. Clean up the middle of every one of them. And now we're going side by side with Charles Leclerc down into turn 1. And we've got the move done. We are in 2nd position of this Grand Prix. What on earth was that? Oh my god, no idea what happened there. The AI went absolutely nowhere off the line. Lewis Hamilton really the only one that got going effectively off the line there. All the AI just seemed to get bogged down off the line, and we have found ourselves now in 2nd place. And we actually look at the moment, this could be just while Hamilton's tyres get up the temp, but we actually look quicker than the Mercedes here through turn 9. We're in the slipstream. We're going to go up to reach and overtake. We're going to try and look for a move, are we? At the end of the back straight, yes we are. It's a bit late. Lewis locks up the left front, so do we a little bit. Bit of tyre contact there, side by side with the Mercedes, and we go round the outside now, and we take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. What is going on? We have come up from P7, and now we find ourselves in 1st position here at Catalunya. But looking behind, Hamilton is in the pits, and so is Sebastian Vettel, so is a lot of the AI. Hey, okay, that was weird. Now, I'm not too sure what exactly happened there. I think there might be a glitch, but after going back and watching the replay, the AI, a lot of them, Hamilton, Bottas, I think one of the Red Bulls, you could correct me if I'm wrong there, and I think Sebastian Vettel, they all pitted at the end of lap 1 to get the mediums off for another set of mediums. So I have no idea what's going on there, but they have effectively screwed themselves because they've put themselves on a 2-stop strategy now, which means legitimately we were actually leading this race. So once again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but we are looking really good at the moment for a solid haul of points here today. But anyway, on to the end of lap 6. We're coming in to get these soft compounder tyres off. We're doing the straightforward 2-stop, soft, medium, medium. Just seemed like the way to go. I was going to just do the basic medium hard, but since we made it into Q3, I didn't want to take the risk of trying to make hards go to the end or something. I wanted to keep as much pace up as I could. But rejoining back on the track now, and if anything, the overcut has actually worked for us a little bit there. We maintained position over Daniel Ricciardo. At the end of lap 5, Danny Rick was actually right up our gearbox, and we've got the gap out to almost 7/10 of a second there. It's a very good stop from Spiker. But on to the back straight on lap 8, we go for a very late lunge on Alex Albon there. Didn't even plan to do that, to be honest. I was just caught out by how early the AI were on the brakes, and now we're trying to go around the outside all the way through this final sector. Surely this can't work. Down to the final chicane now, and we have got the move done on Alex Albon for P14. How about that? That was a cool move. That was a really good move. But anyway, now we've got to get the head down Next up is Sebastian Vettel, a works Ferrari, and in the exact same place again, down the inside into the final chicane, and we get the job done on Sebastian this time. We are moving forward in this race. We actually look to have genuine car speed at the moment, which is something that we haven't had all season. Technically speaking, we really shouldn't have it now, as we're still like, what, second or third worst car on paper. But here we are fighting the Mercedes and the Ferraris. Esteban Ocon is now out of the session. I think I pronounced that wrong, so somebody will probably correct me on that, no doubt. But anyway, we're going to try and line Hamilton up for a move, are we? We'll do that in a moment. Let's go and have a look at what happened to the Frenchman. He's following an AlphaTauri there as he comes on to the back straight. No smoke visible, and I'd say that could be a gearbox or a hydraulics problem of some description. But Esteban slows on the back straight, pulls over, and the number 31 Renault retires from the Spanish Grand Prix. Getting back to the action though, lap 11, Lewis Hamilton trying to make a move on Kimi Räikkönen, and that didn't quite work, and now we are trying to attack the number 44 Mercedes round the outside, just like we did to Alex Albon. I think we might actually get this done. Again, we run a little bit wide there, but we get the job done. Up to P11 now. We have just overtaken a works Ferrari and the Mercedes of Lewis freaking Hamilton for position on track. But we can't celebrate too much because we're still on the move. Lap 12 at the last chicane, up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen now. Bit of a dodgy move, that one, as that's actually thrown us out of DRS range. So yeah, that might have been a tad bit silly from me there. But anyway, on to lap 14 now, as we've caught back up to the queue. First up is Romain Grosjean, Lance Stroll. Then I think you've actually got Mick Schumacher there in P7, and I think it's one of the AlphaTauris there in P6. So we'll watch out for all these guys as they're all coming into the pits at the end of lap 14. They're doing the one-stop strategy for this race. So Mick Schumacher, effectively, he could be in a pretty good position to potentially score some points. So things are looking very good for Spiker at the moment. Cutting on to lap 16, all of the AI have now made a stop. Some have even made their second stop, I think. And that has now put us back in the effective lead of the Grand Prix with Daniel Ricciardo right behind us. He pitted at the end of lap 18, however, once again going for the undercut. So we are going to respond the very next lap in the pits, hard on the brakes, almost speeding there. That was way too close. But luckily we got it slowed down. Carlos Sainz in behind us as well, as Kevin Magnussen, Danny Kvyat, Pierre Gasly go past. There goes Antonio Giovinazzi and Lando Norris. Well, that's a pretty slow stop actually from Spiker there, considering that they have given us a 1.9 second stop before. But we re-emerge back on track again. Daniel Ricciardo nowhere to be seen, as I think he's actually just behind Max Verstappen. So the undercut does not work for the Renault driver at all. But I think, is that a yellow flag? Just up ahead it is. It looks like one of the AlphaTauris, and it is Pierre Gasly who is out of the Spanish Grand Prix. You can see the Frenchman there on the right, pulled off the circuit, and that is a real shame for the team, as effectively they were on for a double podium. Gasly was comfortably running in P3 there. Well, I say comfortably, I mean, yeah, had Giovinazzi and Norris not too far behind. But Gasly, unfortunately, his engine lets him down. 13 laps from the end, and 13 laps from what would have been an awesome double podium for the team. Now fully rests on the shoulders of Danny Kvyat. He's actually pretty close to Kevin Magnussen as well, I think, so could potentially see AlphaTauri win a Grand Prix. How weird would that be? But anyway, cutting all the way on to lap 29, as nothing happened for a good 10 laps in our race, but all of a sudden it's kicking off. Max Verstappen up here inside in a place where you don't normally see the AI try for a move, but Verstappen not wanting to wait around, he finally got around Carlos Sainz, and he makes mincemeat of us there. But cutting on to the final lap of the race now, we're battling for P6 in this Grand Prix. It looks like Carlos Sainz right behind us. The McLaren is definitely quicker at this stage, but we crucially have track position. Hopefully we can hold him out This is really going to be his final chance to make a move here on the back straight. Rich overtake. We've got nothing left in terms of fuel and ERS. He doesn't go for a send, and I think we should be okay now. But I just want to direct you guys' attention to what's going to happen in just a few moments' time. Danny Kvyat wins the Spanish Grand Prix for AlphaTauri. Kevin Magnussen home in P2. Antonio Giovinazzi P3. Norris P4. Verstappen P5. But for us, it's going to be an awesome P6 result for the team. Very, very pleased with that.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals for a memorable win here today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team will be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
As we await the winners to take their positions on the podium, one thing is clear. AlphaTauri have really shown their prowess on the track. This is a team that isn't afraid to take risks, whether that's on the circuit or in the new talent they hire. Today, those risks certainly paid off.
Alright, so there we go, guys. The weirdest race I have ever seen in terms of a career mode. Daniel Kvyat wins the Spanish Grand Prix for AlphaTauri from Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi. Haas and Alfa Romeo on the podium. Oh man, that is crazy. But we managed to come home a brilliant P6 for Spiker. Mick Schumacher was running P8 with like 4 laps to go, but ends up down in P16, so that's quite unfortunate, to be honest. I felt like he was actually on for a solid haul of points. But with that shaken up result, we actually get demoted down to P14 due to Kvyat winning the race. Magnussen and Giovinazzi with their brilliant point scores actually all three overtake us. But I feel that we can definitely get them back. But Spiker down to P10 with the good combined results, obviously, for Alfa Romeo, Haas, AlphaTauri. But all in all, another real good weekend. And man, what was that race, honestly? That was just the craziest race I have ever seen. We started P7, we were second place by turn 1, and by turn 10 we were leading the Spanish Grand Prix. We led basically almost 20 laps of that race. Yeah, I'm honestly speechless, guys. That is just absolutely crazy. Turns out we didn't get any of our sponsorship goals, which is a tad bit awkward. But anyway, money-wise, 2.79 million, so that's nice and handy to have. But now it looks like we have a sponsorship renewal, so looks like now we can go and change our sponsors if that is what we wish to do. So we're going to go and change our 2 secondary sponsors, as I wanted something a bit different. I'm looking at Atlantic here. As a team, complete a total of 75 laps during a race weekend. I think that's definitely possible, so we'll sign Atlantic as one of our secondary sponsors. And the second one, I think we might go with Sunburst. Complete a clean race. That was, I think that's a pretty nice, easy one that we should be able to do. Just scrolling through them all here, seeing if there's anyone in particular that does stick out. But in the end, I think we're just going to go with Sunburst, as kind of seems like the easiest one. and obviously if we can complete that, we do get a bit more money, and you know, the more money is the more the better. Really, it's just as simple as that. The more money we can keep bringing in, the better off we will be. I was still thinking at this point, as you can see, I had a long hard look at every one, trying to figure out what would be the best option, and in the end, as you can see, we come back down to Sunburst. Weekly goal, complete a clean race. That is definitely possible, so we will sign with Sunburst. And there we go, we have our 2 new secondary sponsors on the car. Customization, looks like, what do we got here? We got some new gloves that we could potentially use. Don't like the look of them myself, so we will avoid them for the moment. But anyway, that has been it for today's video, guys. That's just a crazy ass race weekend. That's really all I can call it. That is just absolutely unbelievable. But hope you guys have enjoyed. I sure have. But if you enjoyed, you know what to do. But until the next one, the Monaco Grand Prix, I'll catch you all later.